Hello, David. This is your favorite deplorable and unemployable lobster speaking. A few thoughts on community building. So, first of all, I would start off with a mission statement. I think what makes people feel as part of a community is the impression that we are overcoming some kind of obstacle together. I think this is a very archaic aspect of the feeling of community, is that you come together with other people to do something that you otherwise couldn't do alone. And you said once in your criticism of Jordan Peterson that it seems as though he believes he's alone in this project of his, and he doesn't see that there's so many people who are just eager to get on board and help him with it. And I think that's right. So I would start out with a mission statement. What I think this kind of community would be about is to basically bring forth communally what you have termed wisdom, or what has been classically called orientational knowledge, or what the Germans call Bildung, which is something on the lines of general education. This kind of knowledge, orientational knowledge, is knowledge that deals with you as a subject. It's the kind of knowledge where you don't learn about random specific topics, but where you deal with topics that inadvertently will affect your personal life. These are topics that in some way address the question of what is it like to be conscious? What is consciousness like? Like Jordan Peterson, when he describes personhood and development of personality, most of the topics he covers in some way are related to what you have to do to become a functioning person. And every one of us who is listening is in some way, more or less successfully, a person already. This is one of the reasons why I think Peterson is speaking to so many of us. He's speaking to us because he's talking about that which you most indubitably are, namely consciousness or a person. So Bildung, or general orientational knowledge, is generally about that kind of stuff. Everything that has to do with you as an experiencing subject. All knowledge that has to do with you as an experiencing subject. And I think this is, by the way, what also unifies the intellectual dark web as a leitmotif. What they also have in common, apart the medium that they're using, they also have in common that they're big thinkers. They're thinking about big topics and then bringing them back home to their implications on what it's like to be human. They're not just thinking about abstract questions for the sake of thinking about abstract questions, but they're thinking about abstract issues always in the light of what does it teach us about being human. This is how Plato already envisioned philosophy to be. It's an intellectual endeavor that basically takes your whole life, and where you learn more about yourself as a conscious creature, or as consciousness, and where you learn about the world, but not randomly, but only where facts about the world teach you something also about yourself. This is what I would make this community actually be about. Make it a community that is about bringing forth orientational knowledge and about development, lifelong development, where you acquire this knowledge and make it work in your own personal life. And this is something that cannot be done in 1 year. It's not something that can be done in 4 years, but basically is a lifelong learning process. This is, I think, what would make sense to make the community about. And by the way, this was originally the job of the humanities that Peterson is so frustrated with. Of course, the humanities never really lived up to this ideal, but it is there in their mission statement originally, as defined by Humboldt, which is to develop a refined relationship to self, world, and other, or to put it in an integral lingo, to get more informed in the good, the true, and the beautiful.